Okay, so we're having a look at a C2 exercise in today's video. We're on englishaula.com, which I've looked at before. Really good website, which has tons and tons of exercises at all levels. And so I'm going to borrow some of their material for my video today. We're going to have a look at a part 2 exercise, part 2 of the C2 Proficiency exam, which on the reading and use of English paper you should know is the short text with 8 gaps and no options. It's called the open close with a Z. Let's get into it. Let's have a look at it. This is the text. It's about Geneva, which is a predecessor of gin, basically. Yeah, we're going to have to try and think of the correct word in each gap. And I would say we should just get into it. Let's go. All hail Geneva, the precursor to gin that began the British love with juniper-infused hooch. Yeah, juniper berries are the berries that are used to make gin, and that's pretty much all I know about how gin is made, to be honest. Something to do with fermenting juniper berries, definitely. So the British love what with juniper berries? So I think this is like a what would you call it? Maybe love here is like an adjective for the thing or the thing that it's describing after, or it's a type of whatever goes in that gap. And the only expression I can think of here is a love affair. The British love affair. It's a romance. It's a relationship, a relationship based on love that the British have had with this juniper-infused hooch, gin. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with love affair there. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. So yeah, I took a little bit too long over that one. So let's move on. We'll find out at the end if I've got it correct. The nectar was to England by mercenaries from the Low Countries in the 17th century. So what are the Low Countries? Are the Low Countries in Southern Europe? I think the Low Countries are the Netherlands, no? Like in Spain, they call them Países Bajos, the Low Countries, and Netherlands means flatlands, I believe. So is that what the Low Countries are? I don't know. I assume the nectar was maybe introduced to England by mercenaries or brought to England by mercenaries. I guess brought to England would be the most simple possibility there. I don't know, maybe there's more than one possible answer. There often is. So I think I'm going to go with the simplest option that occurs to me. Brought to England by mercenaries from the Low Countries in the 17th century. Good. Right, so for a blast of Geneva pleasure today, head 1 hour by train east of Brussels to Hasselt, which hosts Belgium's National Geneva Festival. I assume in October? Yeah. Just be in October, no? I think. That for some reason seems too simple. Something doesn't seem right. Maybe every October? Maybe both are possible. I'm going to write every October, just in case. It kind of sounds better, I don't know why. Each October, every October. I'm going to write every October. Yeah, because I think like in October sounds like a specific October, possibly. Whereas I want to insist that that's something that happens regularly every October. No? I think. I don't know. Anyway, Hasselt's status in Belgium's Geneva capital, as Belgium's Geneva capital, explains the presence of the National Geneva Museum. It is housed in a beautifully restored and active 19th century distillery on Wit Nonnenstraat. And active. Oof, that's a difficult one. So reading the sentence, it is no longer a 19th century distillery, is it? It's now a museum. It is housed in a beautifully restored and... But the thing is, I would say, you would say inactive. What could you say? Non-active? No longer active? I think it seems to me... I mean, if it's a museum now, it can't still be a distillery. So it's not an active distillery. So I need a word to express the fact that it would be non-active, but then why wouldn't you write inactive? I think I've had an idea. So it is housed in a beautifully restored, so it's been restored, and once active, maybe. Maybe, because at one time it was active in the past. I'm taking a gamble here, I'm going to say once. So it's been restored. This museum is housed in a beautifully restored and once active 19th century distillery. We'll find out, I guess. Okay. During Geneva Feasten, there is a bronze fountain on Maastrichter Straat. I don't know how to pronounce it. From Geneva flows instead of water from whence, if we're being very formal, but no, I think from, archaic. No, from which I think is the best option. Could we say from where? During Geneva, there is a bronze fountain from which. Yeah, it's an object. We're going to say from which. It's not a location. It's a thing. No, so I would say from which. Still, the mystery continues. Where does gin come from? Because in Spanish they call it ginebra. So I always thought that, even though we call it gin in English, I had no clue as to where it came from. But interestingly, the city in Switzerland that we call Geneva, the Spanish call it Ginebra. So I thought maybe Ginebra was Swiss or had some relation to Switzerland, right? And now they're saying the Low Countries, but they're talking about Belgium. Was Belgium one of the Low Countries? Maybe there were several countries that are low. I suppose Belgium isn't pretty high, is it? Isn't very high. It's probably considered one of those countries with no hills, one of the Low Countries. No idea. Need to check that out. Okay. If you're struggling to find it, ask anyone for the Barrel Man, but you'll have to wait You're right, you'll have to wait because other people want to see it, rather. So I think you'll have to wait your turn is the answer this here. Okay, so a Geneva tram glides town. Marching bands play. I guess the tram glides, through town or into town. Marching bands, players, waiters race with laden trays to win their own weight in Geneva. So a Geneva tram glides into town, glides through town. I can't really tell from the context. I guess they're kind of trying to describe a sort of transient moment, things that are happening, things that are going on. A Geneva tram glides through town. Marching bands play. It's kind of like a process. It doesn't come into town and the people get off, and it's not like describing a process, is it? Glides into town, maybe through town. Marching bands play. Waiters race with laden trays to win their own weight in Geneva. Street corner pop-up bars tempt visitors with Genevas from something Flanders. I think 7 I'm going to say through. But the last one, there's another. Street corner pop-up bars tempt visitors with genevers from what? From all over Flanders? From... I can't think of the word. Oh God. Perhaps it could be from that area, so from around Flanders, from around that area. I can't think of any other options here. I feel like I've not done very well in today's test, so I'm going to say around. Because we don't have any preposition or anything. I can't think of anything else it could be. Moment of truth, let's check. I feel like I've got a few of these wrong. I think my text makes sense as it is. I think you'd read it and, you know, wouldn't really be any errors, but I'm kind of doubting as to what they mean in a couple of the sentences, whether I've got the right meaning in mind. But anyway, let's find out. Right, so 3 wrong. So they were the ones that I doubted most, I think, really. Restored and once active 19th century distillery, they said that's wrong. It's not through town, I suspect it might be into town. And around Flanders, yeah, I can't really think what that would be. Maybe I'm just from near Flanders, from... And what was the other one I got wrong? Once, I can't think what. I cannot for the life of me think what number 4 could be. I really can't. Did I say anything else? Did I give any other possible options? No longer, but they're 2 words. It's only 1 word here, so... Into town, I think, and from... I don't know what number 8 could be. I've got to admit, I've done very badly today. So if you struggled, don't worry, because no, I'm struggling here. Let's have a look at the correct answers. Okay, glides around town. Okay. Okay. From across Flanders. Yeah. Aha, right, yes. Okay, so I guess what they're saying from one end to the other, from all over. Yeah, I was kind of trying to find a word that meant that, and from across Flanders is a word that kind of means, yeah, from all extremes of the Flanders area, yes. So that would be better. Yeah, definitely 8. Number 7, I think, was really difficult. Glides through town. Glides around town. Yeah, it kind of covers all the town around, goes to different parts of it. And I'm kind of saying it passes through. Yeah, I think number 7 was a particularly harsh one. Now, the one I cannot think of is number 4. Still active? Well, yeah, that makes sense. But I didn't think it was still active because it's a museum. Well, not technically, no, it's not. It says that it is housed in a beautifully restored and still active 19th century distillery. Yeah, that would make more sense, I guess, to be fair. And yes, it's not saying that the distillery was converted into a museum, it's that the distillery houses the museum. The museum is inside the distillery. Yeah. Beautifully restored and still active. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Number 7, I think, was too difficult, really. I don't know. I don't think I would have got that, no matter how long I thought about it. And number 8, yeah, definitely. I definitely wanted a word, but I couldn't think of one word that sort of made me think of, like, from all of the area of Flanders. But yeah, from across Flanders, absolutely, that works. Well, I did terribly today. If you did as badly as me, then don't worry, because I'd like to think I'm proficient in English after 300 videos and 12 years of teaching it. But there you go, you know. You can have a bad day. Been speaking English for nearly 32 years. That's shameful. Goodbye.